Crate society is dark and fanatical. Led by their priesthood, the Apprentice, the Crate follow an ancient doctrine handed down to them by their abyssal prophets and constantly foretell of the prophets' return. The Crate religion is based on massive obelisks of a unique dark stone that can be found exclusively and rarely on Tyria's ocean floors. The Crate believe that each of these obelisks was raised upon the site of a Crate prophet's ascension into a mystic world, a world beyond this one, where these nameless prophets are building an army great enough to eradicate all other species. One day, they will return and drown the surface of Tyria beneath one massive sea. The Crate sacrifice slaves to show reverence to the prophets and to ensure that the prophets will have servants in their mystical other world. Crates have never developed a written language. They have excellent memories, and their religious texts are memorized Vedic fashion by the priesthood. These texts are vast in scope and difficult to memorize. Becoming a Crate Apprentice is a lifelong journey and requires tremendous, all-consuming dedication. Furthermore, unknown to the Crate people, the priests ensure the continuation of their power by subtly changing the words of the massive memorized texts, ensuring that whatever interpretation they require is upheld somewhere in the canon. Land-based historians and scholars theorize that the obelisks on the seafloor are not mystical, but are ancient monuments to religious figures and societal governors of the Crate. Because the Crate memorized their lore, some information has been lost over the centuries. The Crate race has forgotten the obelisk's true purpose and has invented instead a mystical reverence for the monuments and those they represent. Certainly, the obelisks are eerily smooth and have no symbols on them, and thus cannot relate their history firsthand. The Crate Apprentice are the ones who interpret the meaning of these monoliths for their people, and because of the fanaticism of these priests and priestesses, the story of the obelisk's creation and purpose has been twisted to religious use. Like the obelisks, the Crate are steadfast and immobile in their beliefs. Their legends state that all the races living above water were driven out of the sea by the prophets and forbidden to return. Although these legends seem patently false to other races, the Crate refuse to listen to any heresies from other races. Destroying them seems a much more effective way to ensure that the Crate religion is not defamed.
The stars comfort me. I think of them like little faces watching me, reminding me that the dream of dreams is all around us.
You always were a soft one.
I don't get the Priory. All that work to entomb knowledge in lifeless scrolls and barren stone.
Written words tell a story. When I was a scribe, I used large letters, and I wrote in epic strokes.
The blood of history pumps through us when we tell stories in the open where everyone can hear. Besides, who remembers a musty scroll collection but a master storyteller? Now that's something.
More rain, more miserable horribleness. It's actually raining about the same amount in-game here as it is in real life outside my window right now. Which is kind of curious. Again, I do wish it was stronger though. It feels like for nighttime and rain and those kinds of things in Guild Wars, because it's an MMO and it wants to have a really broad reach, they never go like too accented with how it feels and looks. It's never too dark at night. It's never too rainy or windy during bad weather. And so you can almost forget that the rain's even a thing. But if you do squint, you can slightly see some raindrops. And if you do listen very carefully, you can slightly hear some raindrops. But yeah, hello everybody. Welcome. We are at Oxbow Isle again, with a familiar looking sub. Now, last time we were here, several of you did point out in the comments with this War Master we spoke to.
Honest face.
She told us about the fort, but there's also this option, which is what's with the cats, and you'll notice behind her, she has two little cats, Elena's kitty and Elena's kitty again. Interesting story. The first spring of when this MMO existed, they started offering mini pet versions of the baby animals and things. I think it started with spring. And you can kind of get baby versions of these following you around. But yeah, you could ask, what's with the cats? And she says, before I came out here, I was going to leave them with my brother, but he's allergic to everything. I'm glad I didn't. They're great company. Glad things worked out. See you. You guys really wanted me to read that. I don't know why. I'm not sure what's so interesting about it. I guess my speculation here would be that there's probably some dev that moved across the country to work on the game or something, and then they did a little version of themselves in-game because they had to bring their cats, or maybe. And literally it was the real world story of their brother being allergic. You might think that's really strange, but you'd be amazed how many random NPCs around here have real world namesakes. I mean, it is mental. So I don't think this will be the last we're going to see of Oxbow Isle, because there's this launch pad here. Now, we've seen many of these. What does this explorer say? The crate are onto something. At the first sign of trouble, it's my job to inform the camp. Well, how do you know what the crate are doing? The crate are always up to something. If only we could convince them to attack the Risen, that'd help us on 2 fronts. I wonder if it can be done. Well, I don't know. They don't like the Risen, definitely, but they seem to have found another way of warding them off. How are negotiations going? You're in a serious situation? She says, I think they ate our last diplomat. That bad, huh? Well, keep at it. Oh, no, player just went. Oh my god, he completely disappeared. That takes you really high into the sky, like up the rain clouds. It's ridiculous. Yes, this will catapult us to the next deeps. This mysterious one over here at the Maya Sea. The Maya Sea, for what it's worth, one of the very early interactions we had with the crate in short stories referenced the Maya Sea. But yeah, so we're not going to go on it yet, but maybe later if we find ourselves having to get too close. First, the story actually wants us to go somewhere slightly different. Hopefully, we can avoid the deeps altogether. We're going to move past the submarine and go south a little bit through the waters here. So a really cool area of Mount Maelstrom. You notice, again, near the volcano. Ever does it loom over. There's a beautiful island here as well, where you actually find a secret Order of Whispers base. We're not a member of the Order of Whispers, but maybe I can find an opportunity to go up there at some point today. But you know, the story's actually going to take us here. Now, here's an interesting side of the game as we travel further forwards, as we start dealing with the Lagos. Well, because they've appeared kind of in the main story now. Wow, I just got attacked by a ridiculously strong crate there. Skelk there, Jesus Christ. Because they start appearing in the story now, the devs kind of take their gloves off a little, and our chance to find them in the open worlds goes way up. There's a lot of new interactions we have, particularly around these waters. So let's just remind ourselves of what we're doing here. Crusader Apatia and I attacked the crate slavers in their tower fortress. We defeated the crate and freed their prisoners, including Warden Highwell, who's now off recovering, it seems. The prisoners told us of a crate orb with the ability to prevent Zaitan's magic from raising the dead, and... Oh, they're raising the dad. Zaitan being our dad, guys. And of a Lagos who might have more answers. Apatia and I set out to find this Lagos in order to learn as much as we can about the strange and powerful artifact. Now, in the meantime, while we've been off resting between videos, Apatia has gone to consult with the Priory about what she knows. And yet this is about what they know, and this is it. We're going to try and hunt a freaking Lagos. Really good area of the world for it. So, hey Apatia. It's good to see you once again. This place doesn't look creepy at all. Not near the volcano. Nope, we're fine.
This is tricky. I know the Largos are consummate assassins, but I've never tried to track one. Never even seen one, actually.
Us either.
Of course, very few have. They conceal themselves until ready to strike, and they take pride in efficient kills. Taking down dangerous prey to challenge themselves and prove their worth? They'd be right at home in Holbrook.
I'd love to hunt alongside a Lagos someday. But until then, how do we go about finding this one?
By following her trail of kills. Largos are always planning or executing their next kill. Find her latest victims, and we'll find the Largos. The last Lagos sighted in the area was to the south, near the magma on the seafloor.
Oh, this is so cool. They mentioned so many awesome things. So we're here again about Holbrook. We've never even visited. Also, that line, very few people have ever seen the Lagos. It's so cool because the player base is in that position. We've never seen one either. We've only just recently been hearing about them. But the knowledge that not just in the story, but in actual gameplay, there was a real chance to find them. I think it's one of the most beautiful things that the devs actually did in the open world, and the way they weaved it into the story later here as well. Different players, based on their experiences through their adventure so far, will, you know, be having slightly different reactions here, and I really enjoy that. But it all happens within our own minds. Yeah, she just mentioned underwater vents from the magma. Yeah, that's one of the beautiful aspects of Mount Maelstrom. Doesn't have too much more to say to us. This is really exciting, she says. I did some asking around about Lagos assassins. Did you know they can turn nearly invisible when they hunt? Remarkable. I'll keep my eyes wide open. This is an interesting line because we as players get access to stealth. Any of us can stealth by just blasting in a smoke field. And so, you know, we all have that capability. Is this then that Apatia is a bit of a silly Norn and doesn't understand these things? Or is it that we're not talking about normal, regular combat stealth here? But in lore designation terms, the Lagos are doing something even more potent and proficient. It's kind of that creepy idea, you know. Again, like we had a phantasmal Orion stick in our brain and follow us for ages. In this story, we could kind of have a Lagos, you know, could be tracking us right now, which excites Apatia. But I, as a Sylvari, I don't know. Maybe I'm just a little bit more curious than anything else. We looked very cynical there, looking into the camera. So yeah, if we took a right, we would be climbing the steep climbs of Mount Maelstrom. Instead, we're going to go down. Look at this. Look at the colors. Oh, it's beautiful. Oh my god, and there's a shark attacking us. It's beautiful. Let's get our minions up and let's start dealing with these guys. Fortunately, as a minion monster underwater on a Necro, it's kind of one of the easiest, smoothest underwater experiences you can have, because it almost doesn't really matter what your left-hand side stuff is doing and how well you know your weapons, because your minions can do so much. I will note, though, when you go blood magic...
Did you see that? Something wounded those sharks.
Oh, no, I didn't. Sorry. Oh, look over there. There's a shark in a fight. Okay, so when we're blood and everything we do life siphons, if you remember, the trident now sends out lots of undead piranhas to attack things and gobble them, which is extra packets of damage, which procs blood like mad. So, you know, we just have really, really, really cool combo. And don't worry, guys. I remember we got a couple more traits to pick up this episode, which we will do. Let's take out this shark. Look at this. There's just sharks dying over there. Oh, my gosh.
The Lagos is making a circuit. Stay near the injured sharks until it comes around again.
Okay, it looks like our minions are running in already. Oh god, it disappeared. Did you see that? It just vanished before our eyes. Apatia? Oh, no, it's going the other way. Hold on. Does Apatia have anything to say? This is really exciting. I did some asking around. What's going on with these wounded sharks? They look like they've been staked out to lure in something larger. Classic hunting tactics. Never seen it used like this before, though. Wait, so this Lagos is tending her trap. She is killing these sharks. Look, they're struggling. They're still alive. To bait in something more. Oh, dear. I think the Lagos is nearby. I agree. See the sharks? I think she put them there to mark boundaries of her killing zone. We'll find her inside it or around the perimeter. Such a cool idea to do your early interactions with a Lagos alongside a Norn. Oh, it's freaking awesome. Okay, I'll keep my eyes wide open. I was going to say something else as well. Can't remember. Okay, Sire, we see you. We see your nameplate. Oh, she's disappeared again. She's so quick and flighty. I guess we'll move up this way. Now, the vents are kind of interesting because in open world, similarly, if you come here in open world and swim through the vents, you can find a hero challenge where there's another Lagos in this area. Hey, we see you, invisible stalker.
You're in my way. Leave or you'll be on my list. If you enjoy living, go. Now.
I'll be on your list. Huh, well, what if I'm not scared about being on your list?
All right. You are an interruption. State your business, or become mine.
We've come to speak with you about the Crate Slave Master. We need to know about their magical orb that supposedly prevents Orion corruption.
You speak plainly, and you hide your fear well. Still, your needs don't interest me, and I have no need of you.
My people are hunters like yours. We stalk, we wait, we kill. Test us. The commander and I will prove our worth.
So, it's a challenge then. Very well. I am currently amusing myself between targets. My current focus is the great sea monster in the caves nearby. Honor the Tethyos compact. That is the heart of Lagos. Track it, kill it, bring me proof. Then I will tell you what I know about the crate. If you succeed, I'll find you.
Will you? And then look at this. Oh, what a cool animation. Guys, this is a whole new race. They've got new animations. When you press F on them to speak to them, they have different introductories, different outros. It's amazing. They look really, really cool and creepy as well. So here's some concept art of Lagos. And some of the early concept art was actually showing them without the wings, those like big blue wings in the background. So the question is that a part of who they are, or is it just like gear that they wear? We know so little about them, like even basic things like that aren't fully explained. So yeah, there's so many cool things about that dialogue as well. You'll notice that the conversation side by side was actually colored slightly differently to normal. It's a bit darker, a bit more scary. I don't know whether that's just because we're underwater or because of the subject of who we were talking to. Pretty fantastic. And Apatia just goes out there and knows how to appeal to her heartstrings. We just do it as a challenge. This thing doesn't care about us, so why don't we appeal to, you know, its sense of sport? Apatia, what was that? That thing looks formidable enough to catch a Lagos' eye. I'd weigh that's size target. Wait, that thing? Oh, the chromatic Cubozoa? I'm not sure what a Cubozoa is. Maybe you guys can tell me in the comments there. But here it is. It is a giant jelly, and we have been standing around for kind of a good reason. The jellies will just come towards us. So here we go in a nice big circle. More patrolling, you see, in this story step. And let's take it out. I'm not sure how many jellyfish we've really fought on this series so far. They can actually really hurt. I know we fought some. This guy's only a veteran. And unfortunately with our army of CCs and all kinds of stuff from our minions, I don't think it really stands too much of a chance. Let's charge in and see how we do. We can always hide and shroud as well. Caraflower's a little bit scary right now. That always strikes me when I play her, just how potent she is. Are you impressed, Sire? Sire Al-Raid? I hope you are. Well, let's clear this out first.
Impressive. I will present this trophy to the great houses in your names. You have earned the right of introduction. I am Sire Al-Rajid. Now, as we agreed, the orb you seek is a thing of legend, known only to deep dwellers. Its origins are lost, but it is extremely powerful. It may pose its own dangers, but it does counter the undead dragon's influence. Wherever the orb is, those who die near it do not rise again. The Crate are keeping it in constant transit between their largest strongholds to maximize its effect. I suggest a plan. I was brought close to the slave master when I allowed myself to be captured. If you do the same, you may reach the orb.
I'd rather snatch it in transit while it's vulnerable. The pack desperately needs to rein in Zaiten's power.
We have a difficult decision here, but at least now it can be an informed decision. Thank you for your help, Sire Al-Rajid.
May your steps be relentless.
Oh, Caraflower's got no idea what she's, like, in on right now and how ancient and magical and mysterious this freaking thing is as it just leaves again. She's just like, thank you very much for the help. Oh, so naive. I love it. Okay. Wow, there's so much to talk about, guys. What you just heard Sire rap out there were all kinds of weird little hints about a greater society and deeper understanding of the Lagos. And you might now be looking to me to tell you, oh yeah, this is this, this, and this. The truth is, we don't really know much of anything. So in the first conversation, she mentioned the Tethyos Compact, right? She said that is at the heart of every Lagos. We challenged her and she said, honor the Tethyos Compact. So we can assume that this is some kind of a verbal agreement between Lagos hunters to hunt one another's prey, or something to do with that nature of them that is to do with assassination. We don't know for sure. Now, Tethyos, the word Tethyos is from Greek mythology, and that was a Titan sea goddess, which apparently was to do with embodying all of the world's waters. So there is some kind of reference to the deep sea and waters there, and indeed we do know this at least, the Lagos are deep dwellers, as she just described. They are from not these, well, we're in great waters here, and it makes sense that we find Lagos, but we're talking far away. We're talking unending ocean. None of this is playable. Ridiculous quantities of water out there, and you know, who knows what may be out in the depths. She describes herself as a deep dweller, and the orb came from these places. The Crate have just pilfered it. The Crate have it, but no one really understands how it works, and it's from super far away, which adds to the mystery of the Crate too. It's so cool. Also, her name, Sire, her name is Persian, I think, anyway. It means something like shadow, or what is it? It's like sneak or a shade, maybe. So yeah, really, really, really cool character, and hopefully will not be the last we've seen of her. She's given us her idea, and that seems a bit wonky. Apatia had a cool idea as well, though. What do you think? All right, and was that fun, by the way? I hope it was. We've got 2 ways to get that orb. I know my choice, but it's your call. Should we allow ourselves to be captured, as Sire recommended, or hit the crate procession in transit? Right. Well, first, let's just say, help me think this through. What's your opinion? Sire proved that getting captured can work, but we're not Lagos. I'll follow your lead, but in my opinion, hitting the procession is the more reliable option. I kind of think that Apatia is right here. Because, yes, we did see Sire got caught, but she didn't care. She just immediately slipped her bonds. She can stealth, she can teleport around, she can do all kinds of stuff. Or is she teleporting or just stealthing before us? She could still be here, guys. Ooh. Yeah, I don't really want to end up like that Char. It is, generally speaking, a pretty interesting mission mechanically, with a little bit more dialogue than the other choice. But I think hitting the orb in transit, for several other reasons, is the better way to go for this series. So let's do it. You're right, let's hit it. Good. We'll have an advantage on land. I'll make the necessary preparations. Meet me near Broken Arrow River, and we'll have ourselves an ambush. Great. I'm interested once again in your opinion. No, that's fine. Okay, let's hit the orb in transit. Great. I'll see you there. Work complete. We hit level 72. We get taught about world bosses again. We get some exotic gear, which maybe we could even equip. And it gives us about some stuff we've got to look forward later. Apatia says, I'm glad you took my advice, but now the pressure's on me to make it work. Don't worry, the ambush will be ready and waiting for when you arrive. I trust you as a hunter. You've seemed pretty impressive so far, Apatia. Come a long way since you're in the Lion Guard. So, Broken Arrow is a little bit back up north, actually, between the 2 original waypoints we were grabbing. I do want to show you, though, that other Lagos before we move on, down here in the deep sea vents. And I really think that the story has quite deliberately taken us close to one another, so that once you do this and, like, the mainstream story has explained these things to you, you explore the world a little bit, and all of a sudden you start noticing these things. So, yeah, we come down into the Treacherous Vents. How cool is this place? Oh, I love this. I really want to see more of this in the future. And here, under this very sneaky, slim little crack here, first of all, there's an apprentice here, and this is a Lagos. Apprentice Luis. You're lucky we are not here for you, land walker. You would not be leaving here otherwise. Noted. And her master. Don't worry, land walker. You aren't my prey. Say what you will. What are you? I am a Lagos. We've only recently traveled to these parts, so I'm not surprised you haven't seen us before. Where are you from? My apprentice and I came from the ocean deeps. I wouldn't advise you go there. You're not ready for the horrors of that place. Alright, listen, guys. We know 5 elder dragons. One of them is super mysterious, and we know, like, nothing about the deep sea dragon. And some of the world building and descriptions of that dragon makes it seem like the most horrific and scary of them all. You know, the scariest things in life are those that you don't fully understand. You can't completely discern and understand its mechanics, right? And that is the deep sea dragon in a nutshell, because it's so far away and so deep down in the twisted horrors and torments of the depths, we don't get to see how it operates. It's just this idea of tentacles bursting out, various civilizations being offset and moved away, and then we hear the Lagos themselves, utter badasses, saying we're not ready for the horrors of that place. And indeed, to this day, in 2018, as I record this with you guys, we have not visited the horrors of that place. But maybe one day. You'll notice that the hero challenge nearby just triggered. That's another player has swum nearby. So we'll see how they do. What are you doing here? The waters of our home have become dark. Because Lagos value vigilance and skill, I must prepare my apprentice for the challenges ahead. Listen to this. You guys might think this is throwaway, but there's so few Lagos we get to speak to in the entirety of this MMO. Hearing from this person that our waters have become dark, this is like the main exposition we have, that the Lagos homeland is in disrepair and peril. This is the only time we hear about it from the only NPC. Here it is, guys. That's it. It's on a plate. So, you know, you're not out of the loop. You know fully right now so much about the Lagos. So, yeah, good luck with the challenges ahead. In many ways, they're much like the Quaggan, no? Much like the Crate, no? I mean, you really get this sense of the deep sea dragon here. Is it a coincidence we're also in a story about a blue orb? All these things came from the deeps, right? Well, let's go into the vent and see what we've got. It looks like there's an engineer. He's got a harpoon turret down that's being held in place by, you know, this balloon here. And, yeah, he's having a fight. Look, he's getting pretty low. And here we got Uran the Hunter. I will honor the Tethyos compact by just allowing him to fight on his own. Look, he has a jellyfish. And see whether he can deal with it. It looks like he can. Voila, well done, my friends. And he's likely to probably just swim off now. There you go. So the Largos was defeated. And is now disappeared. No, there you go. All right, here we go. Hello. I'm going to assume you seek a lesson. If I didn't, I'd have to kill you. Oh my god. Uran the Hunter. What are you? What am I? Draw your weapon and I'll show you. Okay, does drawing my weapon count as just summoning all of these little creatures here? This is okay, right? Teach me. I'm Carrot Flower. So in some ways I kind of don't like this because the Largos are super badass. It kind of sucks to be able to duel one and kind of win. So in many ways I don't like the skill challenge. I would have rathered if this was a skill challenge just dedicated to speaking to them, a bit like that one we saw with Almora recently, where you just get a bit of lore and stuff and you're supposed to you know, talk about your experiences with the Largos. Look, this guy stayed. What a god. Wait, hold on. Was he a ranger or was he an NG? Because I swear we saw a ranger pet, didn't we? It must have been. Maybe it was two. Anyway, there you go. So we can take it out. Let's assume, guys, we didn't beat a Largos there. Let's assume he just showed us a little bit of his strength and then he decided we weren't worth the effort. And then, unfortunately, there's no real dialogue afterwards. He says, you'd better leave while I still like you. You've seen enough of my secrets. I'm going. I guess they're trying to preserve the mystery. Don't forget, any player who's not in the middle of doing wet work and intercepting the orb and stuff could find that. And for the real juicy details, you want to be hanging out with Apatia. So, there you go. That's it. That's the waters. Still not going to the volcano. One day, maybe. But until that time, let's go back up north and continue and try and interrupt this procession. Now, we have two deeps. The Maya Sea and Non-Moa Lake. I love the way that the story nods back to a previous map as well, like this, in a very real way. The crates keep moving it backwards and forward. One orb, two deeps. They want all of their crate alive. We're going to intercept them in movement. They acted like this was some great holy thing to them, though, so hopefully it's not that well defended. I'll see you guys at Broken Arrow. I hope we know what we're doing, Apatia. You'll notice how alone we feel here as well. There's no, like, whining or crying back to Traherne and getting him to help us out. It's all us, all on our own. We appreciate that Traherne's got a million things to do to set up Fort Trinity and, you know, make us push into Fireheart Rise and all of that. And, you know, we're really sort of got a lot of autonomy. We're not even hanging out with tons of other Vigil characters, really. It's us two trying to secure this thing. Which is fine, because the Norn are massive and awesome.
We're ready, Commander, but there's a complication. The Order of Whispers reports that the crate are being extra cautious with the orb in transit. They send 2 caravans every time they move it. One with the orb and one decoy. We hit the wrong one and the real one escapes.
Clever.
That's a problem, but I have the solution. Hit both processions simultaneously. It splits us up, but it also ensures we get the real one.
Perfect. I have mines to plant at each ambush point. The caravans hit that point, the mines do their work, and we move in for mop-up. I'll meet you back here after I've dealt with my end of the ambush. Thanks for trusting me with this, Commander. I won't let you down.
Oh, God. Wait. Apatia, Jesus Christ, she's moving so quickly. All set on my end. Once you're in place, our trap will be sprung shut right on the crate's head. I just want to make sure absolutely everything goes according to plan. Of course, once we're in position, we won't be able to check in with each other. Best to do all of our check-in now. Right, we'll rendezvous after the battle is over. So, Apatia's going to leave here now. And she's going to go over there. Now, this was Caraflower's idea. Look at this. We get a cool backpack here with our stuff. This was Caraflower's idea. I hope you know what you're talking about here, Caraflower. Splitting up never goes well in horror movies. But Apatia seems happy, and I'm sure she's welcome to fight on her own for her legend. So let's go up to this choke point. I mean, I'm never kind of alone. Maybe Caraflower's okay splitting up because she has so many minions, right? And the idea is that she doesn't quite know. And as a Sylvari, continuously feeling some empathy and sense from the plants and other Sylvari around her, she might not truly know what it means to be outgunned, outmatched on your own. So she's just happy to come up with plans like this. I certainly wouldn't have thought of that. But yeah, okay, right. So Let's move over to this very cool little choke. I like this as well because if you were just exploring Mount Maelstrom as a regular player, not doing the story, you wouldn't really think of this as something, a place where prominent story might occur. But it makes sense, you know, that this has been built and it's a good choke. So, what do we have? Well, 2 positions. I will get my minions up in a second. I'm going to press F to set and conceal. And down there, we've laid a mine. Let's come over, grab this other one. Bract would be proud. And now we want to take cover to avoid being spotted. I'm not sure what actually happens if we stand still for long enough, but I'm assuming they will come up and find us. You never know with these instances. And let's hide behind this rock. I'll keep my minions away. Apatia, I hope you're ready. Come on.
Slow down. Something doesn't smell right.
Hey, suck it. Woo! Attack the caravan. So you get a bit of bit of crate voice acting there. You notice everybody's massively CC'd. They will eventually stand up, but we get all this free extra burn here while we can. This must be one of the longest knockdown effects in the game. It's so huge. They do eventually stand up, I'm sure they do. Unless the idea is we got them all knocked out and passed out. It's kind of cool seeing their bodies and being able to mouse over them like this. Surprising that the devs don't utilize this more. It feels good, doesn't it? I mean, especially if they body blocked us. It works as crate falling down. There you go. They're starting to stand now. Oh, there you go. Look, look, look. This is the orb carrier. She's determined. Are you the real one or the fake? Are you the real or the fake? I don't know. Okay, let's blow these guys up. And I'm guessing once all of the allies are down.
You'll never take it from us.
Oh, yes, I will. I'm going for him. Here we go. Turn it into a bit of a pantomime here. Oh, no, you won't. Oh, yes, you will. It says that the crate orb carrier summons minions, too. You can't get away from me. I know you're invulnerable for now, but that can only last so long. And look at all the minions I've got. In a second, we can charge with our flesh golem. We'll be fine. Oh, God, there's a whole wave of them over there.
You must die.
Oh, dear. Okay. All right. We'll take these out. In fact, that's looking pretty bad when we get over there. So, how about we grab another one of our new spiked traits? Remember, all about the big damage. That we got the might generation, we got the vulnerability, we got spiteful spirit. What else do we want? Well, I love the master tier. This is so cool, guys. Oh, no, we're in combat. Someone attacked us. Damn it. It's a Hypnos. He's managed to put a little bit of Condi on us.
Poisoned.
And then we got this guy here as well. The Master tier is amazing. It's one of my favorite in all of Guild Wars 2 in terms of like different traits to pick from. They're all really cool. First, you get Chill of Death. Again, when you hit someone below half health, you get even more damage. This time it casts a spell, Lesser Spinal Shivers, which does just a ton of damage, rips their boons, and does more the more boons you rip. So that's Chill of Death, and it is fun, and it does really nuke people. A lot of people in PvE underestimate Chill of Death, but it's such a powerful, powerful, powerful thing. Here we got another key from these crates. What else do we want, though? We've got Awaken the Pain. So, Might we're very familiar with at this point, I hope. Might increases the damage we do by improving our power and our condition damage. 2 different attributes that both buff different forms of damage. These keep coming. That's what Might does. Both power and Condi damage. But look, as a Necromancy, you can take Awaken the Pain, and it says Might now gives you more power and less condition damage. And you get 5 might every time you pop into Shroud. So with this, it kind of doubles us down into the power angle instead of the condition angle, which is really great. Or lastly, we have this, Dread. And I love Dread, okay? Check it out. Whenever you fear someone, the condition, it will apply vulnerability to them, meaning they take 10% more damage, and we straight up do 20% more damage to everyone feared. Dread is awesome. So if we go into our Shroud, we use skill 3. While he's feared and running away from us, we hit him like a truck. It's amazing. I love the trait, and I might run a fear build soon where we just stack tons of fear and blow people up while they're dreading us. It's so, so cool, and there's other synergies coming up. So there you go. That's the Master. You can only pick one of these. They're all so cool. I'd love a build that could have all 3, but you can only go for one. So there you go. All right, let's pick up this key. That's an interesting mechanic I've shown off there as well, by the way, that waiting on the hill, the crates slowly come up and attack you to conceal their master. And so here we go. We've got a crate Nimros, who is standing ground behind him, the orb carrier. And this is the head slaver. So I want to talk about standing ground again. Remember, we showed this off in the Priory when Caraflower was down there, and the idea was that people were body blocking. Interesting story that I only learned from you guys in the comments. Standing ground is an effect that actually clears condies, so they can only have one condi on them ever at once. But the other thing it does is it does cause body blocking. Believe me, it actually does. But only NPC to NPC body blocking, which is a really weird, like, obscure thing that you wouldn't find it easy to notice. But while one NPC is standing ground, other NPCs, such as their enemies, can't walk through them. So it does still exist, but it's just not on the player end. It's funny to think they could just flip a flag and turn it on, though, maybe. That's why you see it at the Priory. It's still not really meaning anything, and in this instance you see it, and it still doesn't really mean anything, but it is a thing.
You certainly did our orb. You found our orb, but now you will bleed and die. Formidable. But is your friend faring half as well as you? I doubt it. Enough! I yield! You won! Oh.
Or have we? What do you mean? I gotta kill this orb carrier here as well. Weirdly, the orb carrier summoned a minion called an orb carrier. So it's like, maybe that's a bug, or maybe it's the idea is they keep creating duplicate orb carriers and you're not supposed to know which one it is, you know, more fake processions. So hold on, did we get the right one? We got the orb. We do have the orb. Yeah! Look at this, guys. Okay, it might not be a Blitzball, but it definitely reminds me of a Blitzball stadium. Look how cool that is. Oh, it's so shiny and mysterious and creepy. Amazing. Awesome. But what was the crate talking about there? All we got to do is just go recover Apatia and we'll be fine, right? The other procession doesn't have the orbs, so it's not even that important if she manages to take them out. She could have figured it out on her own. Well, let's go back. I don't like the ominous vibes that Snake was hissing out, but they are evil incarnate. They're probably just trying to get in our head, right? The way the game just forces us on this long, tense walk with this music in the background is kind of cool. If this didn't go well, I'm going to feel bad since it was my idea. It was us as Caraflower's plan to do this. We made the call to hit the processions, and we made the call to split up. Apatia? Apatia, this is where we were supposed to meet up. Where are you, lass? You can see how it's flashing, and we're just left to scratch our head and wonder. Not really sure where she is. How long should we wait, do you guys think? Apatia, can we stand on the rock and maybe look? Okay, well, after enough time, the game asks us to go search the river itself. So this is where the other one was going, right? Oh dear, look. I can see her axe down there. Let's slide down this cliff and hopefully not get ourselves killed. Apatia? Apatia's axe. Apatia's axe is here. The blade is covered with blood and scales. There are signs of a struggle nearby. Examine the signs of the struggle. Splashes of blood and tracks lead down to the water's edge. Beyond that, there's nothing but water. So, it's kind of a shame that it's here on this little bit of river, but I think the idea is it's probably all the way down here. Okay, that doesn't sound good. That sounds like Apatia. Look at all the dead crate around, though. My God. It sounds like she got dragged into the depths. Uh-oh. Is this on us?
Come to me. We must discuss.
Oh, hi, sire. What? Have you been following us? Did you see what happened?
Do not be alarmed. I mean you no harm. I was intrigued by your interest in the orb, so I shadowed you. You handled yourselves well, until your partner miscalculated. The explosives did not sufficiently weaken her prey.
Is she alive? I need to get this orb to Traherne at Fort Trinity right away, but I can't just leave Apatia behind.
You do not have a choice. The crate overwhelmed her and carried her off. She is no longer here. Among my people, we would say her steps have faltered, and be done. Come, I will deliver the orb for you. I would enjoy visiting Traherne again. I owe him a favor, and Largos always keep our oaths. You should go too. The crate will be back in force. The longer you stay, the more likely you will end up lost, dead, or on a torch rack. That won't help your friend.
I'll go. Traherne needs that orb, and I need to be at Fort Trinity. But I will come back for Apatia. I swear it.
Oh, wow, what a mixed bag. Okay, so we got the orb. Great. Sire's gonna leave again.
That put me into an adventurous mood.
Do you see how she takes the orb from us there, by the way, and then leaves with it? My God, we're putting a lot of trust in this random Lagos here. She said she owes Traherne a favor, though. So, listen, I mentioned this back at Concordia. Some people find it really hard to swallow, and maybe you would find it hard to swallow that so many orders feel indebted to Traherne, so many smiths feel indebted to Traherne, and now even this Lagos is indebted to Traherne. I'm still kind of on the page that I think it could be a thing, because if he's from the Grove and he's continuously going to the Ruins of Ore, that takes him across the Strait of Malcor many times. Maybe by land, where he meets people. Maybe he tries to sail. And at the end of the day, we're dealing with Lagos territory, and Lagos are all over these places. I mean, truly, especially within the game, once you get to the lower reaches. So, yeah, you know, I kind of can't believe it. What exactly happened in their past, though? Hopefully we'll find out later. Jesus Christ, though. Apatia, she's just in the water. Her steps have faltered. Damn it. I don't like this at all, but we've got too many different jobs to do all at once. Let's get the orb to Traherne. Let's check out Fort Trinity. And then we've got to save our friend, right? Report to Traherne. It's been a while, dude. I hope you're happy with what we've done. So, that's what's left for Caraflower. Go on one extra adventure to get back over to the fort. I think I'll probably do that between episodes. And as you guys may be expecting, Zaitan hasn't been sitting idly by. He's probably got his own plans and doesn't like that fort there on the edge of the Straits of Devastation. Let's hope it doesn't spiral into too much chaos and distractions, because Apatia could be in some serious danger right now. I'll see you guys next time.
Back in the Grove, the Firstborn guided us past the sudden strangeness of birth. We'd sit with the plants in storytelling sessions, then wander the vine corridors, learning, always learning.
Sounds so different from anything I know.